In this episode, I hope to answer a question I've been asking myself for decades. Is a cartoon that I fondly remember real or not? So, stick around. Hello everybody and welcome to Sentimental. In this episode, I hope to answer a question I've been asking myself forever. Is a cartoon that I fondly remember really exist? Now, we live in a day and age where people talk about the Mandela effect constantly. And that is a false memory, if you will. The whole idea of false memories have been talked about a lot more recently because of the Mandela effect, and to be honest, because of court cases and stuff like that. A false memory could either win you or lose you a court case and possibly a lot of money. So the whole idea and science behind it has been really explored more recently than ever before. So what does that exactly have to do with today's episode? Well, this cartoon that I'm remembering. Okay, fact is it only aired once. Kind of like the Pride of the X-Men cartoon pilot that aired in '89. It only aired once, but that had a lot more fanfare than what I'm thinking about. With how popular the later incarnation of the X-Men cartoon got, the Pride of the X-Men was put on VHS and is more remembered than what I'm talking about. I don't even have a name to go by, but once I see it, I'll remember. But here are the facts I do remember. That, well, it's one big fact with 2-3 parts to it. One, in this cartoon, the main character, it was kind of like a medieval setting, had a throwing star glaive from Crawl kind of thing. It was a single unit thing that kind of looked like an axe that could open up to like a multi-bladed throwing device. I mean, that sounds pretty typical to 80s action. But what I really remember is loving this half an hour cartoon that I only seen once so much that I recreated said throwing thing out of cardboard and one of those little brass paper holder things, whatever they're called, chads or whatever. That you punch a hole through, put it through and spread it, and then it can kind of open and close. And I remember running around my front yard all afternoon after seeing this cartoon, playing with this thing. Now these are vivid memories I have of my childhood. I have a real hard time nailing down a year because one of the weird facts that I've discovered with researching a lot of these episodes on cartoons and toys, that my perception of years are really screwed up. Because a lot of things that I thought, hey, I was a little kid, I wasn't. I mean, the fact remains I played with toys and watched cartoons my whole life. So it's kind of hard to nail down things. Because just something recently I was researching, oh, that cartoon, I must have been really little. And, oh, I was 12 when it came out. Anyway, for this episode, we will go to the interwebs. We'll jump on the computer here, and I'll take you along my journey to find this elusive cartoon. Will I be successful? I don't know. But I hope between what we can find online, and maybe one of you awesome viewers out there that remembers this, we can weave together a tapestry of my memories, if you will. And, or if I'm just crazy and it doesn't exist at all. That's a possibility too. Anyway, onto the interweb. Okay, here we are in front of the computer. We'll start out on Google and see what that nets us. To be fair, I've done some research recently into 80s cartoons. You'll see those episodes soon. But I've looked at monster lists. That's what started this whole grasping at straws of if this exists or am I crazy. This cartoon's existence. So we're not going to look up a monster list of 80s stuff. So I think we need to refine the search down to its points. Point 1, I assume it was a pilot episode because it only aired the once and there was only the one episode. So we'll just try pilot 80s cartoon to begin with. Now, some of these articles that'll pop up, I've already looked at, and I'll just quickly give a brief summary on what they had and how it did not yield any results at all. So let's look up pilot 80s cartoon. Since I've already started this search, and then I thought, well, let me invite some people along and maybe they can help. So, 15 amazing forgotten cartoons from the 80s from Comic Book Resource. Now, Comic Book Resource is a very sensationalized, clickbaity thing at times, not to be disrespectful of them. Now, this 15 amazing forgotten cartoons, they're not forgotten to the people that lived through the 80s. They're just unknown to millennials. That's how they should have titled it. Because they're not forgotten, they're just unknown to younger people. Anyway, next. 15 failed cartoon pilots too weird for TV. I've tried looking at this and I've never heard of any of them, and they were all mostly really weird, off-the-wall Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network cartoons that are more recent. So, we don't need to look at that. Gremlins cartoon pilot. We might have to look at that at a later date. Okay, so we exhausted one page. Let's go to page number 2. Pride of the X-Men. A very famous pilot episode that I came back week after week waiting for more episodes and they never came. And people today reporting on it say what a huge failure and stuff it was, and I don't think it was a failure, I just don't think it was the right time. I love the team lineup in that cartoon though. How cartoons change, that's pretty interesting. Encyclopedia of Television Series, Pilots and Specials. Oh, it's a book. Battletoads pilot. Obscure 80s cartoons? Maybe it's under that. Because so far this search is not yielding any... Really? No, get out of here. Dungeons and Dragons. Great show. Discworld, I don't think it was that. Has an 80s cartoon feel to it. I don't know, I've never read the Discworld books, so could it be? Let's see. From Reddit. That doesn't look familiar, though. This had a very polished Galdar kind of style to it, if I remember correctly. So we looked at 5 pages with this search and it yielded nothing. So what should the next one be? Obscure 80s cartoons. Like I said, for younger people, these may be obscure or forgotten, but if you live through the 80s, these are not forgotten or obscure. Well, maybe for some of us. I shouldn't just make assumptions. 15 cartoons from the 80s you probably forgot existed. 80s cartoons you watched but can't remember the name of. Well, that is the problem I'm having, so let's see here. Really? You're going to forget Inspector Gadget or the Thundercats? Considering he says Thundercats ho at least once or twice an episode? Working overtime fighting crime. Mask. David the Gnome. Our family. Okay, my internet is running slow. It's probably just the Wi-Fi from where I'm at. Laser Tag, Bionic 6, Saber Rider, Ewoks, Muppet Babies. How can you forget the name of the Muppet Babies? Alf, Ghostbusters, Dinosaucers, Snorks, Droids, Super Ted. I loved Super Ted. I remember renting the tapes all the time from Errol's, I think it was, or one of the really local mom and pops that didn't have catchy names that I could remember. Duckula, Kid Video, Banana Man, Pound Puppies, Captain N, Robotics, Wuzzles, Camp Candy. I like that show. Centurions, Brave Star, Visionaries, Inspector Gadget, Thundercats. Yeah. Ten 80s cartoons you probably don't remember. I'm assuming it's going to be a list just like the other one, but I'm grasping at straws right now. GeekTyrant, they're a pretty good site. Depends on who's writing the articles. Inhumans, Gilligan's Planet, yeah. Ghostbusters, Punky Brewster. Oh, Gloomer. Shirt Tales, love Shirt Tales. Rubik the Amazing Cube. Laser Tag Academy. Spiral Zone, great cartoon. No one ever talks about it. It's going to be in one of the episodes that I was researching earlier. Spoiler alert. Kid video. Nothing. Nothing, nothing. Again, I apologize, I'm just speeding through these lists, but I'm looking for the meat and potatoes, and I haven't found it yet. The list, if it's an 80s cartoon, it's listed here, retro junk. Could be. Let's take a look at this list, and anything stands out that I don't really remember, maybe that's where we go. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, wasn't that 90s? Bucky O'Hare, that 89, 90s, I guess. Excuse me. Darkwing Duck, was that 80s? Sorry, I'm going to take some notes here while I'm going. Yeah. Nothing yet. Pirates of Dark Water, great cartoon. Was actually missing a lot of cartoons on here from the 80s. None of those. I'm starting to think I was just crazy and I created this whole scenario. That's a scary thought to try to digest. Okay, 7 obscure 80s cartoons. It's worth a shot. Transor Z. Okay, again, sorry about the slow internet. Chippendale Rescue Rangers, I wouldn't say that's obscure. Oh, look, it's Loki. Hey, Loki, what's up? It's all these ads they throw in, I think, are what's slowing it down. Gummy Bears, sadly, that is kind of a forgotten cartoon. Something that Disney should reboot. That was a great cartoon. Star Blazers. Silverhawks. Again, I apologize for my Wi-Fi running slow. Old computer, away from the router. Ooh, Jim Carrey looks scary there. Some clickbait. You won't know what crazy celebrities they are. And he won't even be on the list. It's just to get you to click on it. "12 cartoons from the 80s no one will ever have nostalgia for." I've read that in the past, and that truly made me angry. Because a lot of the ones on the list I have nostalgia for. So, page number 3. We'll look at 5 here. Most obscure cartoons ever, it says in the description. Let's see. Something weighed on my head. Yeah, the Fonz. I'd agree with that. Jabberjaw. Robotic Stooges, yeah. Yeah, I don't need to look at this list. This is all. Pac-Man, that was a good show. I enjoyed Pac-Man. Keeping obscure 80s cartoons alive with Count Duckula tattoos? Interesting. Nothing's leaping out at me there. Okay, here's someone looking for an obscure 80s cartoon and toy line. Let's see what they're looking for. A few years ago, I came across the opening or a demo reel for a toy tie-in cartoon from the 80s that never got picked up. Pretty much all I can remember is that I think it involved trains. Like each figure came with an individual train car, and that Peter Cullen, or someone equally famous, was the narrator. It felt incredibly bizarre, almost like a parody, and now it's bugging me and I can't remember what it's called. Power Masters? I'm going to take a note of that, look into that. I don't even remember that. It could be 90s for all I know. I guess you could just throw stuff like that out on the internet and ask questions, but I'd rather investigate and research. Try to find it myself. Okay, that was 5 pages. Obscure 80s cartoons. So 80s cartoon. Throwing disc I looked up, didn't find anything, so one episode. '80s cartoon, 1 episode. Not 1 season, 1 episode. Now, I'm sorry I've not yielded any results to this. And it's really starting to bug me now. I will agree with that dinosaurs finale being traumatizing. Nothing there. Throwing blade. I swear I came across the title a year or two ago, and I swear I wrote it down. And then I can't find the paper in my notebook. So it makes me feel like I'm not that crazy, but maybe I'm even remembering that wrongly. A list of every 80s cartoon. '80s tunes. Maybe they have the answer. Oh, Bigfoot and the Muscle Machines. I used to love that cartoon. Galaxy High, like that one too. A lot of good ones here. A lot are missing as well. Nope, not there. Maybe it was on a Saturday morning. I thought it was an after school. Here's Reddit, the ever-evolving list of 80s cartoons. So that sounds like it could be pretty extensive, so let's take a look. Danger Mouse, good show. Fist of the North Star, sweet. It's Punkyverse, or... I'm gonna feel horrible leaving this episode with the answer being I'm nuts. So that's why I'm still hunting. But I'm gonna have to end it soon because I can't do this all night. I can't torture you all with just me looking at the computer. But my last hope is that one of you remember. Oh God, I hope one of you remember. And like I said, I stumbled upon the name of this show a few years ago doing research for some episodes, and I could have swore I wrote it down, and I guess that just didn't make it to a updated list or whatever. One more search. '80s cartoon that only aired once. It's not controversial, it wasn't pulled off for that. Well, those seem like sad articles of the ending of Saturday morning cartoons. Short-lived and easily forgotten '80s shows. Oh, these are all real shows. I need cartoons. Forget real life. Let's... Oh, it probably wouldn't be on a best list. IMDb is very spotty. Boy. Let's go back to that '80s cartoons that only aired once. And let's look for images. Maybe something there will stand out. A lot of these shows aired more than once, so I don't know what they're about here. Like I said, the show reminded me a lot of, like, Goldar. Sorry, kitty. Don't walk across the keyboard. Get, kitty. My Hero Academia? What? Flight of the Dragons. Now, there could be a chance that this cartoon was part of one of those storybook shows where they would do like an episode about a young adult or a kid's book. There is a great chance of that. So therefore it wouldn't just pop up on a list. Now what were those shows called? Oh man. That would be good for a last look. CBS Story Break. Possible. Anything's possible at this point. To not make me look crazy. Now that doesn't help at all. Could it be this Dragon Bloods show? I don't know. Let's look that up. Well, CBS Story Break episode list. There we go. When all else fails, go to Wikipedia. The Great Ring-Tailed Garbage Caver. Now that sounds like a fun show. Zucchini? Nah. Dragon's Blood from '85. Dragon Blood. Dragon Blood 80s. Oh, they got the full thing here. How about just a little trailer snippet? I don't think this is it. I think I'm barking up a wrong tree. Hey, Captain Kangaroo, what's up? How long is this? Oh, is it the full thing? That don't look like the weapon I'm thinking of. Oh, cool. So, Last thing, and I'll let you all go. And hope and pray someone knows what I'm talking about. Let's look up Galtar. The Golden Lance. See if there's any mention of other shows like it. Suck up. Hanna-Barbera. List of Hanna-Barbera productions. '80s. 80s. Do 70s. Going bananas. Oh no. Ed Grimley. I feel so defeated. Please, somebody out there, please know what I'm talking about. One more and I'll let you off the hook. '80s. Oops, 800s. Cartoon. Pilot. Episode. Solar Man from '91. Lost Animation, the Lost Media Wiki. Okay, let's look here. Don't pay attention to that. It's a Donald animation cell of him dressed as a stormtrooper falling to the ground. These are a lot of like partially found, alternate takes. Unsold Nicktoon Pilot. But ugly Martians. Ralph Bakshi short. Oh boy. Sorry, I'm just trying to... This is a very big list. There's that Gremlins thing again. There's an animated Herbie? Huh. Oh, I don't like how this makes me feel. Have you guys ever run into anything like that before? Let me know in the comments. I would love to feel like I'm not alone with having such a vivid memory of something, but then finding no paper or digital trail of it at all. And like I said, I swear I stumbled upon its name a few years ago, and the Noids cartoon, that would have been cool, and I can't find even those lists. A lot of Pokemon. Excuse me. Oh, Star Wars Detours. Oh, what could have been? Tiny Toons. Toy Story, Transformers. I was really hoping this would find me an answer and this episode wouldn't be a complete waste, but at least we're having a nice conversation. Hopefully one of you has the answer I'm looking for. I'll have a hard time giving this up, but I will, unfortunately. Anyway, again, I apologize for any wasted time. I still had fun. Hopefully someone out there can help. And like I said, if you have any super vivid memories, but there's no digital or paper trail to tell you that you're not insane, let me know in the comments. Anyway, if you like what you saw, give me a thumbs up. If you got something to say, which I hope you do, please hit me up in the comments. I love reading them and I love getting back to you all. And if you're new around here, hit the subscribe. Not all episodes are this boring, I assure you. But see that little bell there? If you hit that, you'll be notified whenever there's a new episode. Anyway, until next time, keep being rad and stay dorky.